We need to keep the Vikings here in Minnesota.
Beat that!
Beat that.
Yeah, break it out.
My fellow Minnesotans, we're at a crucial point. Our Vikings are 9-1 today, on the way to the Super Bowl. But beyond that, Minnesota Vikings as we know it is in jeopardy right now. There's a stadium issue at the Minnesota legislature starting in February of 2010 that requires your attention. We need all Viking fans from across the state of Minnesota who can feel this hype, feel the spirit, call your state representatives, call your state senator, and say, hey, look, get a deal done. Minnesota.
For the excitement, man. I've been a season ticket holder for 30 years. This is great. I don't know why anybody, to lose the Vikings would be terrible.
Yeah, I mean, if we don't get a new stadium, then somebody else is going to get our team. Like we didn't learn from the Lakers and the North Stars? How stupid is that? And you know, the Metrodome cost us $33 million, but brought in $258 million. Like, it's not a negative cash flow, people. Go Vikes, Super Bowl, here we go!
Founder and technical team lead on savethevikes.org. And what we are trying to do here is basically bring to the state of Minnesota a conduit that the fans, constituents, and citizens of the state of Minnesota can talk about their interest level and their desire to keep the Minnesota Vikings here in the state of Minnesota. So for those that are at home and don't know, the Minnesota Vikings have a lease with the Metrodome that runs out in 2011. And what that means is at the end of the 2011-2012 season, which is 23 home games away, if we don't have something in place, they have every legal right to leave the state. So at the same time, the state of California has just fast-tracked a new stadium build, and Arnold Schwarzenegger has exempted that stadium build from environmental laws in the state of California. So a 5-year project has literally been shaved down to 3 years. So what we're trying to do is build the excitement, educate the general public, and get people to understand the sense of urgency needed to help keep the Vikings here in Minnesota. So, Brian, why don't you talk about some of the technical initiatives that you've had going on here with the Minnesota Vikings and savethevikes.org.
Right. So early on we had this vision of creating a site, somewhere where people can go to voice their opinions and voice what their concerns are with the Minnesota Vikings potentially leaving Minnesota. We wanted a place where people can collaborate, talk about the issues, and just educate people. So we wanted to basically get all the technology together, Web 2.0 stuff, Facebook, MySpace, LinkedIn, you name it, anything that's out there that we can leverage to increase the traffic and awareness within the community, not only here in Minnesota, but also the nation. So we've got a lot of people coming in here from all over the country. I think everybody has been, people from all over the country, every state has hit the site. So we're basically covered throughout the country. People are coming all over the place to connect and to get the latest news. So we are continuing to build the site, so the next thing that we're trying to do is basically get more community involvement, try to figure out, see if we can incorporate things like Facebook right into the site. So we're looking forward to growing the site, growing the fan base, growing the awareness through the site and all these other technologies.
Yeah, and one of the things that Brian's trying to do right now is we have, if you go to savethevikes.org and click on Act Now, Huddle Up, we actually have a page where you can find your legislature, your reps, senators, and governors' contact information so that you can reach out directly. We have a pre-written letter that you can copy and paste and send right off to your state legislature. It takes about 5 clicks, less than 5 minutes, and it doesn't cost you a cent. It makes a positive impact on keeping the Vikings here in Minnesota. So one of the things we're trying to do is automate that process so that people can literally just plug in their name and it will automatically send a pre-written letter off to their state legislature. We really feel that one of the biggest successes that the Minnesota Twins had in building a new stadium and keeping the Twins here was getting the fans involved. It's a very fan-driven experience. So we want to build on that and do exactly the same for the Vikings by continuing to let the fans, citizens, and constituents of the state of Minnesota be able to self-empower themselves by reaching out to the state to let them know that it's important to them as taxpayers, as citizens, and it's important to them to help build jobs here. And that 1,200 jobs, when you talk about building a new stadium, there's 18,000 contract opportunities in building a new stadium. And at a time right now where you can build for cheap because labor rates are down, because interest rates are down, we feel that it's very important that we act now as Vikings fans and citizens of the state of Minnesota to keep that team here and let the government know that it's absolutely important to do that. So one of the things we're doing is we're having a fan rally. Our next one is coming up here December 3rd at the Capitol from 2 to 6. We'd love to see you come down there and show your support for the Minnesota Vikings and show your face to the legislature and let them know that it's very important to us to keep the team here and keep those jobs here in Minnesota and not let that go to LA. And we're going to continue to have fan rallies moving forward. Brian's going to continue to develop the site, and we'd ask that you stop back frequently to savethevikes.org.